especially one that looks at the creative environment, represents one of our continent's greatest untapped resources. And despite so much talent and innovation, we are seeing a small number of exports here when it comes to our creative economy. Only 2.9% of global creative exports are actually being taken out of the continent. We need to work on that. What do we need to do to accelerate that? How do we make sure that our creatives are not just creatives, but also that they have an entrepreneurial business discipline to their work? How do we make sure that we no longer just also give away our economical prowess in our creative industries, but we also own our brands, that we own our work, and we make sure that we even further develop further concepts from some of the work that we're doing. We're just about to speak to the United Nations Development Program partnership between them and Uvu Africa. They've got an Uvu Accelerate, the entrepreneurial development and incubation arm, and they've launched what they call the Timbuktu Creative Hub Ideation Incubation Program, which gives a lot of creatives a 6-week intensive program that provides structure and support to help creatives actually validate their business concepts. And a lot of the creative space, but it is about having that not just creative idea, but making sure that you've got the IP set up, but most importantly, you also have a business structure to your concepts.
We were speaking about that recently, weren't we? Just this week, we had a conversation, Ben, about, graduates on the African continent who aren't finding employment, who remain unemployed. And one of the key factors about that is the creation of your own employment and creating forward to find your own opportunities.
Sure.
And so creatives also go through that. Many of them have gone to school, have graduated in the creative economy. However, they are trying to be entrepreneurs. They're trying to find their own avenues and not just waiting for that development to take place or for them to find opportunities and be employed somewhere. So, but it's quite hard, obviously, to be an entrepreneur. We always say it's not for everybody, but it does need to be for everyone at some point, especially if you're going to the creative economy, which is a space that already doesn't have a lot of opportunities. And to create those opportunities, you need to learn. You need to know what it takes to be an entrepreneur in the creative economy. You need to learn what it takes to be in this global economy now as a creative and to appeal to the global market. So, of course, this is quite an important initiative to have for our creative industry.
Yeah, and that entrepreneurial skill is important because it's going to be a safeguard of your creative skills, your creative innovations. Lara Rosmarin is joining us on the line, who's the head of entrepreneur development at Uvu Accelerate. Thank you so much, Lara, for joining us here on the line for this fantastic initiative.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat to you.
Is it called Uvu Accelerate? And if it is, what is it all about?
So absolutely, you pronounced it perfectly. I'm so impressed. So Uvu Accelerate really is the entrepreneur development and incubation arm of Uvu Africa. We've been in the market for 25 years, and Uvu Africa really focuses, as Uvu Accelerate, a part of the team, on helping entrepreneurs move to the next growth checkpoints in their journey, be their ideation phase, build and grow, or grow and scale. We offer support to these entrepreneurs to move them forward.
You know, in the continent, we have a lot of creatives. We do have a huge creative energy that is the makeup of who we are as Africans. But we have all these ideas that sometimes remain in concept stage. And we have all these ideas sometimes that are taken and exported, but we don't own the IP. We have all these ideas, but at times we don't even know how to streamline them into the mainstream and access the markets to make sure that those ideas are exploited. And that's the key issue, isn't it? That we are not lacking creative minds here on the African continent. We're just missing a space whereby we need to maximize those ideas.
I think you're absolutely right. Creativity is for sure not lacking. And through our Timbuktu initiative and our partnership together with the UNDP, we're launching a 6-week fully virtual incubation program for just that reason, to help these early stage entrepreneurs across Africa to transform their ideas into these investable businesses. And what you say is correct. We find that entrepreneurs often lack business acumen because they haven't had the opportunity to learn these foundational skills. There's limited access to global markets. We know that there's insufficient, as you mentioned, IP protection, fragmented networks. And how can we pull all of this together to give these unbelievable entrepreneurs the help and support that they need to move forward?
And it's that entrepreneurial skill that's missing, that business acumen. How do you try to bridge that gap, Lara?
So I think that our programs are specifically geared towards entrepreneurs. So we know they have an entrepreneurial spirit, and we know that they have creativity, but we look at what are the pieces that we can build on that to help them build a successful business. So we provide mentorship and tailored guidance, rather geared towards where the entrepreneur is at, rather than a blanket model for everyone. We equip them with business tools that can really formalize their operations and to help them understand the value chains and to manage finance. And I think it's also incredibly important to create market access opportunities to validate their ideas and take them out there and see, would this idea actually provide an income? Is there a market for their idea? And to really help them build and grow and scale.
You've got a United Nations dimension to that. Could you elaborate about that partnership?
Absolutely. So this was a partnership with the United Nations Development Plan, where we as UVA Africa were appointed to launch a creative hub in Cape Town to ensure that we give support to as many creative entrepreneurs on the African continent as possible. What's quite interesting is through this virtual incubation program that we're about to launch, we actually received applications from 10 African countries. So we've got Egypt, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, Zambia, South Africa. So we know that there is creative talent out there and they're looking for support. And we really want to be that support for them.
How do you touch base with these entrepreneurs? How do you find them?
So it's quite interesting. We put a market call out and we extensively connect with our networks in all the various countries, and we've received an unbelievable response. And a huge number of entrepreneurs have applied. I think the difficult thing for us now is sifting through the applications and selecting this first cohort of entrepreneurs.
And what are you looking for?
So we've really got to focus on entrepreneurs that have got a novel idea, something new, something that has scale, something that is considered to be created by youth, so 18 to 35. Great. We're looking at female entrepreneurs to see how we can open doors for them. Yeah, and we're really looking at the early stage creative entrepreneurs because we feel that that is where the least amount of support can be found, and really we're looking for founders across the value chain. So think audiovisual, design, music, multimedia, cultural heritage preservation. Just think wide. And those are the entrepreneurs we're looking to work with. And also we have a co-working space in Cape Town that we're offering sponsored spaces to entrepreneurs who are looking for a workspace in the Cape Town area, but do not have the ability to pay for that at this current moment in time. So we have sponsored spaces available for that.
Well, the net that you are spreading wide into these waters to fish in the talent is huge, as you explained the various creative industries that can be exploited. What are you seeing that's happening on the ground, Lara, in terms of what are the trends of young people and their interests in the creative entrepreneurial space?
So we've had an overwhelming response to all our calls in the creative space. So we know that young entrepreneurs, ideation phase entrepreneurs are creating new businesses. They're wanting to start businesses. They're wanting to be able to support themselves and employ other people. We're seeing a lot of partnerships happen. We often have programs where independent entrepreneurs join and they join forces and they merge together to create businesses together. We see a lot of peer-to-peer learning and collective innovation happening. which is incredibly exciting. And there's a lot of resilience that comes through shared resources.
Okay.
So a lot of entrepreneurs are helping one another in the particular lanes where they have expertise.
Lara, stay there on the line. This is fascinating. I want to find out a little bit more about the work that Uvu Africa does, but also these programs that you participate in. And it sounds like something that Africa really needs. We always speak to creatives on a Friday around where they are lacking, and it seems to be that those entrepreneurial skills are something that they're hungry for. We'll continue the conversation after the break. Do stay with us. It's 20 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time.
Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Keeping you on the know and on the move.
We're speaking about the creative economy this morning on The Move. Speaking about the launch of the Timbuktu Creative Hub Ideation Incubation Program, which is a virtual incubator designed for early stage creative entrepreneurs across the African continent, launched by the United Nations Development Program and Uvu Africa via the Uvu Accelerate, being the entrepreneurial development and incubation arm of Uvu Africa. Still joining us on the line is Lara Rosmarin, Head of Entrepreneur Development at Uvu Accelerate. Well, does sound like an incredible, thing to be a part of, Lara. But let's speak a little bit about the impact, right? The creative economy has become more and more impactful, especially with the growth of the global creative economy. Africa is definitely being looked at as the present and the future of the creative economy all across the world. What impact can cross-border networking and collaboration among these creative have?
So thank you for the question. I think that's great. It strengthens Pan-African identity, shared cultural narratives that can be monetized globally. I think it it expands access to new markets with collaborations, new audiences, new ideas, combined thinking. And as I mentioned previously, peer-to-peer learning and collective innovation is incredibly important, and I think it fosters that. And it really builds resilience through the shared thought, cross-market testing, multilingual, multicultural project design. It's incredibly rich.
Absolutely. It does sound quite rich indeed. And on top of that, usually when we think about, the globalization of the creative economy on the continent, we may think of it as a country to country thing. So if we see a film that's been doing well internationally, we're like, oh, this is a proud South African film or a Nigerian film or, etc. But now this Pan-African identity should be one that we're actually taking to the world and fostering that, inter-African creation that creates a brand new identity for us as Africans all together. But, there are young people out there that think to themselves, yeah, I know I'm creative and I know I've started this particular thing, but I actually don't know what to do next because nobody has taught me about entrepreneurship. Nobody has taught me what to do next. And some of these themes like financial literacy are some that many people are struggling with on the African continent. So let's go into some of the genres and subtopics that you'll be focusing on during this incubation program.
So absolutely, I agree with what you're saying. There are a lot of creative entrepreneurs out there that have got a great idea but don't know where to start and don't know what to do. And that's really the focus of our program. So if you're a young entrepreneur, if you're a creative entrepreneur, I would suggest that you find a program or look for support to help you move your idea along. Find a mentor, find a program, find an organization that can help you. Uvu Africa is definitely up there, and we're looking for unbelievable talent in the space. But really, what are we going to teach during this time, and how are we going to help entrepreneurs move forward? Mm-hmm. So for sure, we're going to talk about entrepreneurial thinking and how to turn your idea into a viable business model. How we're going to enable creatives to plan, scale, and adapt strategically. Financial literacy is a very big one. We have a massive focus on this as well. How to ensure that you're able to monetize your idea, and is there a market for your idea? We're also going to look at skills to empower creatives. What are the skills that you need to be able to survive survive this creative journey or this entrepreneurial journey, I often describe it as a roller coaster where you're going up, you're going down, you're going sideways. It's a really, really incredible journey with a lot of twists and turns. But how do we equip you to survive or thrive, I'd rather say, in these different environments? And we're not going to overlook the business fundamentals either. That's going to be a very, very big part of the program.
Well, the program has already begun in the beginning of July. What do the creatives look like? Who are they? Where do they come from? And what sort of excitement is brewing now that they've started learning all these different things?
Okay, so our applications have just closed and we are in the process of selecting the cohort. So we've got hundreds of applications that come from Ethiopia, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, Zambia, South Africa. So we are busy going through all these applications. And they're coming from a diverse range of entrepreneurs. But really the focus seems to be audiovisual, design, music, multimedia, cultural heritage. And we're looking to see where each of these ideas fit and to select a cohort that really has a representation of all the various genres and all the countries from which entrepreneurs have applied.
Lara, this is also a fully virtual program. What were the ideas behind making it only virtual? And do you think that all these applicants that will be successful and part of this incubation program will have the accessibility to the internet that they'd need to fully be a part of this program?
So great question. And we're really working with partners in all the countries to ensure that internet and data is not a barrier to entry for these entrepreneurs. So we're very much aware of that. And we like the idea of connecting entrepreneurs from different countries. We believe that our programs are really hands-on and our workshops are interactive. And we really have an unbelievable retention rate in our programs, even those that are run virtually. So we're confident that we'll be able to help in a way that's meaningful, these entrepreneurs, even though we're not in a room together. And the rich multicultural heritage that's going to come from a cohort from 10 different countries, we believe is going to be incredible.
Well, we're speaking a lot about the applicants and those who will be taking part in the program, but who will be the teachers? Who will be on the other side of this learning experience?
So Uber Africa have an unbelievable team that have got massive experience in helping to build and grow ventures. Most of our facilitators and trainers and those people that work with us in our workshops are entrepreneurs themselves. So they really understand the pain, the difficulties, the highs of starting a business and running a business. So we've really got a skilled team that will come together to help these entrepreneurs.
Well, Lara, thank you so much. We'll have to wrap it up there. We wish you a successful program, but also we wish all the applicants that are successful, success in learning, but also success in their creative future.
Thank you so much.
That is Lara Rosmarin, Head of Entrepreneur Development at Uvu Accelerate. They have a 6-week intensive program called the Timbuktu Creative Hub Ideation Incubation Program, where they'll be providing structured support to help creative founders validate their business concept, develop entrepreneurial capabilities, and prepare for market entry and investment opportunities. Great one there. Do let us know what you think of that one at Channel Africa 1.
This Mandela Month, Channel Africa invites you to walk in the footsteps of a giant. From the prison yard of Robben Island to the halls of the United